Play fake. Towards the end zone.
Down the middle. Deep. One-handed catch. How in the world?
You have to be kidding me. That is impossible. That is absolutely impossible what he just did. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Morning. Playoffs? Playoffs? That's where we at, week 14. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Deshaun. How you doing?
Man, I feel pretty good, bro. I been battling like a cold here the last couple of days, so I'm glad that I'm COVID-free and I'm ready to get this playoff weekend started, bro.
Man, that's what I'm talking about, man. All right, since it's playoffs, you know, this is it. Like, if you don't have a first round bye and you in it, like, hey, you got to win out to get it done. So, with that being said, let's get into our records here. So, on my end, I am in the 5 leagues that I'm in this year. I am in the playoffs in all 5 of them. 2 of them got first round byes. 3 of them I'm in wild card weekend with this week. What about you on your end?
Man, my end, I got caught in a couple of sticky situations, bro. First off, in the Destination Fantasy League, I'm 11-2, which is, you know, fantastic. 9-4 in another one. 7-6. I lost by 0.3 of a point in that match, but it's all good. And the 6-7, I like to talk about that a little bit, considering that the guy who's right next to me, Jamar Goodman, actually put me out the playoffs in that one. So, you know, kudos to you, bro. It did suck, considering that I believe it was either you or me, or I had like a really, really high chance of being eliminated. But you know, kudos to you, man. You definitely deserve to get in. I like your roster. So, and to top it all off, the 3-10, that one was just abysmal. Injuries on top of injuries. Never been in a league, period. This is uncharted waters for me, where I've lost more than 7 games, I believe. So, man, tough season. But out of all the 5, you know, well, out of the 3 of the 5 teams that I'm, you know, put inside the playoffs, 3 teams I have a first round bye, so I have no matchups this week.
Wow, that's awesome. If you're gonna make the playoffs, and you know, in those situations, that is awesome.
Yes, yeah.
You ain't gotta worry about me. You know, a person like myself over here, like scrapping this week. Man, it's all good. But you know, playoffs did kick off technically Thursday. New England at the Rams here, and basically in a nutshell, if you started anybody on New England, excuse me, yeah, you basically, that was abysmal. And then on the flip side, if you started Cam Akers of the Rams defense, you're probably sitting pretty good today.
So 9 times out of 10, I think that a lot of people that I, you know, talked to offline said that they had Cam Akers on the bench, which was tough. They said that they want to give it one more game before he's, you know what I mean, named the bell cow back in that backfield. But yeah, over the past 3 games, man, these are the stats. So 9 rushes for 84 yards, 1 touchdown. That it was in the tune of 14 fantasy points. 21 rushes for 72 yards for 1 touchdown to the tune of 16 fantasy points. He also had 1 catch for 22 yards. So it's showing the utilization of him in the passing game. He also, in this last game, my goodness, 29 carries, 171 yards, 2 catches for 23 yards, and the tune of 21 fantasy points. So it's looking to me, Jamar, that this guy is the guy in that backfield. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. And I feel like it took basically 13 to 14 weeks to figure out who was the cowbell of this backfield, man. I feel like we finally got an answer here, but this is one of those better late than never situations, especially coming at the right time, because, you know, year after year is usually 1 or 2 guys for sure every year that just, you know, is hot at the right time and will win your league. And it seems like thus far that Cam Akers could be that guy for you this year.
So it seems like it. So I'm gonna ask you a question. So for like the Akers owners, what are they doing with this guy going forward, since he seemingly established himself as the guy in that backfield?
All right. So for the immediate future, you are I mean, if you make it past this week, you are starting him for the rest of the playoffs. If it's a keeper league and he's eligible to be kept, you probably want to keep him. And, going forward for next year, I'm pretty sure he's going to rise on the draft charts there. So his stock is definitely turning in the right direction here. Cam Akers is turning out to be that guy for the Rams.
Unbelievable, man. And the next 3 games he has are the Jets. So, come on.
Ooh.
That's a great matchup. So if you haven't, definitely going to play him. The Jets, Seattle, and Arizona. So some pretty favorable matchups there.
Absolutely. All right. So yeah, once again, if you started the Rams or Cam Akers, you're feeling pretty good. If you started anybody else, especially anybody on New England, whew. All right. So just to get into a little, news and injuries. So still no Christian McCaffrey. A week ago, a lot of people was feeling good that he'd probably be back and didn't really practice so much. And he's definitely ruled out this week. He's hoping to, still be able to play sometime this season. Hopefully next week, we'll see. But yeah, that's definitely a big blow, in my opinion, especially with the playoffs starting today. And then also, he's no DJ Moore, no David Johnson. Matter of fact, the Miami Dolphins running back, his situation is kind of depleted. No Gaskin, Ahmed, or Matt Breida. That's a blow. Still no Kenny Golladay. He's been a disappointment this year just because of injuries alone. But on the flip side, you got Swift, Cooks, Kiki Kuti, Josh Jacobs, Higgins, Drake, Ezekiel Elliott. They all expected to play today. So at least, as of right now, we know that information, so you can plan accordingly. There's still, I think, a couple more out there that's still on the fence, but that's basically what we're looking at entering today. See, I was going to ask you if any one of these affects you, but since you on your first round bye and all, you all good.
Yeah, I'm all good this week. If I were to play, it'll definitely be the David Johnson, the Ahmed, and no, that's it. Just those 2 guys. I do own it.
Gotcha. All right. So on my end, DJ Moore, he's in our main league, and I did get the first round bye, so I'm safe on that one. But I do have David Johnson in a couple leagues. That's a blow. I don't have anybody from the Dolphins. I do have Brandon Cooks in my 16-teamer, which, by the way, that I end up with a tie last week.
Wow.
And my team underachieved, and I thought I was going to lose, but I ended up with a tie. But that puts me in a matchup with a guy who played the Rams defense. So, yeah, I definitely need somebody to have a spark here. I do have Brandon Cooks. I'm in limbo between him and your boy Chase Claypool here, so I don't know yet. I'll figure it out though. But yeah, definitely happy to have Jacobs back. He's playing in one of my games today, so it's definitely gonna be an interesting game. Like always, week 14. If I'm ever playing in week 14, me personally, I even though a lot of times I'm going into the matchup as a favorite, but I'm still nervous.
You're always iffy, bro. It's just,
Always.
You can put out this perfect roster and 2 of your guys just underperform and you're out the playoffs. So, that always hurts.
Always. And then I feel like somebody somehow, some way gonna catch lightning in the bottle, either on my side or the opposing side, and it just goes bad. It happens like that. But I mean, it is what it is. This is why we play fantasy football. All right. So with that being said, man, you ready to get into some matchups today?
Let's do it.
All right. First up. All right, we got Tennessee at Jacksonville. On the Tennessee side, we got Corey Davis. He's been coming on as of late.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can we trust him today? Because I know some people did pick him up on waiver, in hopes that he can, produce a similar outcome that he did last week. I think last week he had 11 catches. Yeah, it was a phenomenal stat line for him per se. So what do you think on his production today?
I mean, a lot of teams are keying in on A.J. Brown, so that opens up a huge window for Corey Davis to perform, which he has over the past 3 weeks or so. my motto is as long as like the targets are there, like that guy definitely has potential to produce for your fantasy lineup, and it's been there. Tannehill's been looking his way. A lot of teams are heavily keying in on AJ Brown, so I actually like Corey Davis going forward. I actually like him in this game.
Nice. And then on the flip side, James Robinson, I feel like he can definitely produce quite a bit today. Do you agree?
My gosh, man. This dude, like anyone that drafted him or picked him up during the first week, because Jacksonville's backfield was in limbo, this undrafted guy has been just phenomenal. I think he's a top 5 running back this year in fantasy. I would have to double check that. Heck, he may even be top 3, bro. And man, cannot say enough good things about him. It just so happens that he's just stuck on a crappy Jacksonville team right now. But James Robinson, to those who own him, kudos to you.
Facts. All right. So we're going to get into this next one here, which I feel like is a very interesting and a pretty interesting football game in general. Minnesota and Tampa Bay. Your boy, also known as the best running back in the league. I know Tampa's defense hasn't been the same as it was maybe a month and a half ago, but I mean, I feel like their run defense is still like solid at best.
Very much so.
So how do you feel about Dalvin Cook against this defense?
Man, it is playoff implications for Minnesota. They say that they're going to ride this guy until the wheels fall off. Basically, that's what the head coach said. So, man, I think that they're going to get him involved a bunch in the passing game in this one. And you're right, Tampa Bay's defense has been solid. Again, I know that they let up, a couple of big, chunk yards or big play games the past few weeks. But, Dalvin Cook should be a guy that's just going to be utilized heavily. I'm feeling good if I have Dalvin Cook in this football game. Minnesota knows that they have to win, and by doing so, that they're going to ride his back all the way until they clinch a playoff spot. Gotcha.
And then also with them, I mean, Adam Thielen has been really good as of late. Justin Jefferson, can't say enough about him. Do you think both of them could be pretty productive today?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you would pretty much play both of those guys. I think that they are both strong back end wide receiver ones. Like I really do want to say that. Look, if I have Jefferson, there's no way I'm sitting him. Like, I really don't care about what the matchup. He has proven that, like he can just flat out get it done. He's a stud in his very first year. And even over Justin Herbert, he has my vote as of right now for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Nice. And we did find out a couple of weeks ago that the Tampa defense can be had on the deep ball. I mean, ask Tyreek Hill how that would go. Absolutely. And then on the other side of the ball here, I mean, Tampa is in a must-win situation too to keep that lead. And so, are we going to see a disappointing offense here today from Tampa as we've been seeing the last couple of weeks, or are we going to actually see Ronald Jones get the running game going and then ultimately making the passing game unguardable here?
Bigo, and that's what I was exactly, I was leading towards. So Ronald Jones, they're going to have to get him going early and often in this one. Do a little bit of like play action. Brady, I mean, he's showing his age. Like, he isn't able to deliver the ball deep downfield, and he has a bunch of home run hitters on that team. It's just, if you pressure Brady and rattle him, then like, hey, that's key to winning this football game. So in order to keep the defense honest, you must feed your backs. You got Leonard Fournette, you got Ronald Jones. Feed those guys and open it up for those big play wide receivers. And, I mean, he has a plethora of them, so he's going to have to get the running game going.
Absolutely. And as far as pass catchers, you keeping the same order here? Evans, Godwin, Antonio Brown?
Yep, I'm keeping it the same way. But I do want to say this. I don't believe AB has hit pay dirt since he's been a member of Tampa Bay.
I think you're correct.
I think this is a game in which he does so. I'm just going to go ahead and throw out like one of those shocking things. I think AB scores in this football game. Minnesota's secondary is just non-existent at this point, and they allow a bunch of yards to opposing wide receivers. So you may see an AB fine pay dirt game here.
Hey, I wouldn't mind. I'm an AB owner in 100% of the leagues. So.
That's crazy.
So we'll see how that goes. Next one here is an interesting matchup in a sense. Kansas City, I mean, I guess we don't really have to get into that, right? No, I'll take that back. The running back situation. CEH, last week, I guess he was feeling ill and they activated him, but anybody that played him, anybody that counted on him to get you into the playoffs, he laid a goose egg for you. So I don't know if anybody out there that played him and missed the playoffs because of him. That whole situation was unfortunate. I mean, Miami's defense is solid.
No, I mean, let's call it what it is. Miami's defense is very good. That secondary can get it done. Like, they have shown the ability to take the football away. They have shown the ability to, even slow down some of these big play wide receivers. So yesterday morning, I was at work tuning in to the Early Sports Morning Talk podcast, man. Shout out to you guys. And I heard that you viewed this as a trap game. Anytime you travel to Miami, can be viewed as like a trap game. And I'm like, bingo, like that's exactly what it is. Miami, sometimes that warm weather gets to you, man. It's very difficult to play there. Miami plays well there. So I'm not going to say that. I mean, again, it's Kansas City, bro. I mean, like you, is very difficult to bet against a Patrick Mahomes, but I'm just saying that this won't be a gimme for Kansas City.
Not at all. So with that being said, are we like lowering expectations for Kansas City players? I mean, I would assume we're still starting them regardless.
Oh God, yeah, all of those guys. Besides, you know what? If I did own CEH and I had better, options at the running back position, I would look for them. Any of those other guys, Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, you're going to play them no matter if they're playing a the AFC All-Star team. Like you're just gonna play them no matter what. So,
all right. And then on the other side, like I mentioned a little bit ago, Miami Dolphins running backs, it's just depleted. I think they're down to Patrick Laird, and they called up what's his name, DeAndre Washington, I believe, from the practice squad, and it's another guy I can't even put my finger on. At this point, are we staying away from Dolphins running backs here today?
Yeah, unfortunately, Jamar, you would have to, bro. Considering, look, this is playoff fantasy football right here. You don't want to put in a guy and just say off of like your gut, like, hey, he has the potential. No, we cannot go off of potential here. We have to go off of just what's solid. So I'm staying away from that backfield as a whole, bro.
Hey, I don't blame you at all. And you know what? I guess the only, player for the Dolphins, well, for the most part, that's getting real consideration of starting today is Devontae Parker here. I know his productivity with Tua isn't as strong as if Fitzpatrick is playing.
Mm-hmm.
And in my 16-team league, I'm actually benching him just because I have better options here, in my opinion. So for Parker owners, I mean, how would you like approach this today? Because this is it. Like
this is it, bro. At the most, I would give him a flex consideration for this football game. Kansas City defense has been very good, quietly very good against opposing wide receivers. So if you do not have better options, I would play him. I don't think he's going to give you wide receiver 2 numbers. I think he can give you a little bit as in terms of flex production, but excuse me. Mm-hmm. So on this team, I think the guy who's going to get it going for them is Mike Gesicki, man. Like over the past couple of weeks, he has 2 touchdowns, 2 catches for 35 yards, touchdown, 11 fantasy points last week against Cincinnati. Then again, that is Cincinnati, 9 catches, 88 yards, 1 touchdown, 23 fantasy points. So I think they're going to, look to get him going in this football game.
All right. And just for regular football purposes, I will keep my eye on this game here. It's going to be an interesting one, in my opinion.
Very much so.
All right. So next one here. Denver at Carolina. Denver. Mm-hmm. Tim Patrick. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's been balling out lately.
Man, he's been legit this year, man. And I cannot see a a lot of people that own him benching him in this football game, man. Can he give you wide receiver 2 numbers? I think so. I think he can give you back in wide receiver 2 numbers. If you got him at flex, that'll be a very strong flex in this football game. Outside of him, it's very difficult to trust like anyone else. Denver is just that team that just cannot, get over the hump. They just can't get it done. And again, this is the playoffs, so I don't know, bro.
Matter of fact, I'm about to put you on the spot here, sir.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you this because I've been contemplating what to do with Tim Patrick here, because I wanna add him to my team and I want to play him today in one of my leagues, and I'm stumped. Here. So I was gonna pull it up, but I'll just ask you this. So my wideouts right now for this league, this is my work league. We got Allen Robinson, which I'm starting.
Okay.
Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Jamison Crowder. I don't think he's playing today. So those are my 4 wideouts. And Tim Patrick is sitting out there. Do you start him?
Okay, so you said Allen Robinson. Go ahead and say it again. Robinson.
Yeah. Robinson. We got Chris Godwin. Antonio Brown sitting in my flex right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Crowder on the bench, but I don't think he's playing.
Not going to play. So looks to me that you have a choice to make between AB and Patrick. So, man, honestly, I would go Patrick. Go for like the sure thing. I know I mentioned that I think that this would be the game in which AB scores a touchdown, but that's just a feeler. Like, that's not a certainty. And again, you're definitely looking for certainly this late in the season.
Fair enough.
Oh, wow. I also like to mention Julio Jones has been ruled out for today's football game.
Yes, I forgot. Yep, he sure is. So that's part of the reason of your 3-10 record right there, because his health.
Yep, bingo. I mean,
it happens. All right, so yeah, flip side of the ball here. Carolina, like I mentioned, no CMC, no DJ Moore. Robbie Anderson, he's been great. Curtis Samuel, I mean, he could be a factor here today.
Bingo.
How do you feel about those guys?
Man, I feel great about them. Robbie, like, I think we talked about this earlier, during the year, and how Robbie Anderson's been truly effective this year. A lot of people didn't see it coming. He's been fantastic. I got him in a couple of leagues. I play him just about every week to week, and he has been producing. So in a game in which technically top wide out for that football team and DJ Moore is out, Robbie Anderson's going to eat. Curtis Samuel is going to eat in the game in which Christian McCaffrey is not playing. I think that they're going to look to go for those 2 guys.
All right, fair enough. So I probably won't have as much eyes on this game as far as general football is concerned, but definitely for fantasy purposes, I'll definitely keep a keen eye on that one. All right, a game that's near and dear to my heart right here for a couple of reasons. One, it's my Bears, and 2, I feel like Houston has the quarterback that we should have drafted a few years ago, but that's just my opinion. All right, so Houston, Kiki Kuti is playing, Brandon Cooks is playing. Kuti had a game last week. Chicago, their defense last week against the deep ball was non-existent. I mean, and you got Deshaun Watson back there, quarterback. I feel like there can be some big plays that can happen in this game, especially against my team's defense that's pretty unmotivated right now. No David Johnson, so Duke Johnson is probably the lead back. I mean, how do you feel about Houston's weapons here going into Chicago?
I mean, I feel pretty good about both Cooks and obviously the quarterback and Deshaun Watson there. But, God, what a blow to Will Fuller owners, man. He has been producing all year and doing the things that we thought he should have done when he had those injury-plagued season. So to go inside the playoffs without a weapon like Will Fuller for this, fantasy football playoff, man, that's really, really tough. Duke Johnson, never really been a fan of a scat back, especially this late in the fantasy season, but he can get it done as far as receiving yardage. He's just not that guy to push the ball and move the chains through on the ground. So I would definitely be a little bit weary of playing him against, you guys' defense, which even though it has been just plagued with turmoil there, again, you guys are unmotivated. A coaching change, let's just go off topic here. A coaching change needs to be made. I'm sorry. Something is wrong with this, to lose this many games over that span, and to have, man, this is it's just really, really sad to see. It's really sad to see, especially for one of my favorite fantasy players in Allen Robinson, man. That is very, very tough situation for him to be in. On the flip side of things, I do want to mention that Houston is in the back side for stopping running backs, and I think David Johnson will get it going again, which he has over the past 2 weeks.
Montgomery.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry, David Montgomery. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm starting to side with you on that, because I've been critical of the running game in general the past 2 weeks. He's been balling. And like you mentioned, yeah, Houston run defense isn't all that by any means. So I definitely agree with you there. But I will say this, as far as A-Rob, ever since Trubisky has been starting, he's been definitely getting more targets and more catches. So I think he's going to be a factor here one way or another today. And really quick, as far as the coaching change, I'm with you, and I think a lot more should be done there, but we'll get into that on another day. All right. Nevertheless, bear down. Here we go. Next one here. Arizona at the Giants. Giants have been playing well as of late. Daniel Jones is expected to start. Somehow they snuck away with a win in Seattle last week with Colt McCoy and Alfred Morris. Those are throwback names for you. Both of them used to be on the Washington football team together. But do you expect any production out of the Giants offense here?
I'm going to say, yeah, if Daniel Jones is under center, which I didn't think that he would actually play, bro. So, yeah, I think I like Sterling and Shepard a lot, considering that, especially in PPR format, he is a guy who's going to get a lot of catches there. Evan Ingram for deeper, leagues as far as tight ends go. Again, we always mention how thin tight end has been this year. So he could be a very solid play. I'm not going to say great, but solid. And Daniel Jones even has some play in this football game. Again, and this is only for 2 quarterback leagues. Definitely you're not going to play him for, single QB leagues.
No, not at all. And then flip side here, of course, you're starting Kyler Murray. DeAndre Hopkins expected to play. Of course, you're starting him. Kenyon Drake expected to play. I mean, he's been pretty cool.
Yep.
So any room for Chase Edmonds or Christian Kirk in this one?
I'm gonna say no, man. I'm gonna definitely say no. Look, you really want to go with the guys that are, just the guys, like the unsung, just the top guys on that team. So just stick with that. There's no room to play Christian Kirk here. As much as I would love to play him, and I think he has a shot at, actually producing, but quiet as it's kept, New York Giants defense has been very good over the past several weeks.
All right, fair enough. So this actually might be a better football game than people realize. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that one.
If the Giants would actually pull this one off, Arizona has been slowly declining as the season goes on. So
yeah, they hanging in that playoffs. Basically, both of these teams got playoff implications here. So we'll see what happens. On the flip side, this next game has no playoff implications at all. By any means. All right, so I'm gonna start on the Cincinnati side and ask you these questions, man.
Okay.
Giovanni Bernard last week definitely didn't get it done by any means, but he probably is in the best case scenario as far as a matchup here, because Dallas, they couldn't stop a sign, can't stop a nosebleed, couldn't even put out a forest fire as far as a running game if they had an ocean full of water. I don't know. If you have a lack of options, like I do in a couple of leagues, are you starting Giovanni Bernard against this run defense? That's like there's no such thing as a run defense with them.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely not. Like you just said it. It's sometimes we do start guys off of just matchup base, and I mean, what better matchup than against that just woeful Dallas defense there? So up on the Cincinnati side, the only two guys that I'm actually comfortable with playing is probably be Tyler Boyd and Giovanni Bernard.
All right, fair enough. And all right, so basically no recency bias on that one. And then Tyler Boyd, you feel comfortable playing him?
Yeah, I do feel comfortable playing him. Again, with that quarterback change, I don't think he's anything more so of a flex, but he does have that big play ability, as we've seen. I believe he only had one catch for 73 yards and like a touchdown or something like that, but he can give you those type of plays. So T. Higgins may be in deeper leagues. It's a possibility there because he has been playing well over the course of the season. But again, no Joe Burrow. I mean, this team is going nowhere fast, so I really don't know what to expect from T. Higgins.
Fair enough. And before we get into the Dallas side, we got a question here from Humboldt T. Parker. So basically, his choices are DeAndre Washington, Duke Johnson, and Miles Sanders.
Ooh. All right. So DeAndre Washington, that's very, very intriguing. But at the same time, I'm not sure of what he's going to be able to bring to the table just starting right away. So you're basically left with, I mean, this is really a tough situation to be in. Duke Johnson probably has the most upside considering that there is no David Johnson in this football game. Miles Sanders is on a terrible Eagles defense. Eagles offense. Do you know by any chance who the Eagles are playing, Jamar, this week?
New Orleans.
Oh my God. I mean, and New Orleans is one of the better defenses in the league. So you're basically hoping that Sanders punches one in. So I think the safest bet would be honestly Duke Johnson.
Yeah, especially if it's a PPR league. Like Duke Johnson is the safe bet. My Bears defense can be vulnerable. They can be. They shown vulnerability. And like you mentioned, Saints defense is it's definitely pretty darn good, and that's probably not a more ideal matchup. I honestly would lean towards Duke Johnson, especially with no David Johnson today. That's my opinion. So yeah, either way, regardless, good luck today. I hope we can definitely help you with our analysis here. Hopefully you have a successful playoff run, man. Thank you for the question.
Yep, appreciate it.
All right, Dallas. Zeke is playing. Zeke showed a little life last week, I think.
A little bit of a spark. And look, man, here's the thing. Matchup, Cincinnati Bengals. Are you to play Zeke? I think he can give you RB2 numbers today. Am I going to play? Well, even if I did have a match this week, would I play him? Probably. I think I would because lack of other options at the running back position. So Zeke would be a pretty good bet, just depending upon matchup here.
I mean, I can see that. And I'm just checking something really quick. All right, so remember I went on that rant last week, and I just happened to throw out, J.D. McKissick's name, like are you starting him or are you starting the big name Zeke? And I just double checked those numbers, and McKissick had a better output than Zeke. Huh.
What do you know?
All right, so maybe he knows how to play a little football this week. Maybe he's not stealing as much money as of right now, but he's still stealing some type of money. Anyway, pass catchers. Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. I feel like maybe the only relevant ones in that one. That's about it. You agree on that one?
I agree. If it was any other quarterback under center, I would even consider playing all three of those guys. Especially this, come like playoff time. But Andy Dalton has shown that he's just only going to give you a little bit of passing volume. He isn't going to be a quarterback that's going to, wow you in terms of passing stats. So he's going to probably key in up on those main guys. Even though Gallup has showed a little bit of light, as well as the tight end Schultz, you still want to stay away from these two guys during the playoffs.
Yeah. And then maybe just in general, maybe Andy Dalton might have a spark here. I consider a revenge game type scenario. I mean,
yeah, he is playing against the old Cincinnati Bengals here. So
yeah, so we'll see what happens. So like I said, this game has no type of implications or anything of importance here. So keep it moving to a game that actually does. Indianapolis at the Raiders. All right, Colts. I mean, Nyheim Hines has been balling.
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor last week, man, he helped me out a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. You feel good about both of those running backs today?
Yep, I do, man. Again, like I think in order to be successful and running the football, I think you're coming down to see that a 1-2 punch has been very, very helpful, right?
Yeah.
So this is exactly how the Colts are getting it done. Taylor back healthy again. They automatically insert him as that bruiser back with Nyheim Hines, checking down up on those third down, plays. And, you have a terrific backfield right here, man, against the Los Angeles defense.
You definitely do. As far as tandems, do you think they're the second best running back tandem in the league?
Ooh, to say that they're second best, for the games that Taylor would probably miss, I would say no. But maybe when healthy, they are one of the better tandems in the league.
All right, fair enough. Pass catches. I mean, T.Y. Hilton has a little pulse here lately. I mean, could he continue that streak today?
I would say, yeah, man. T.Y. Hilton, look, I think a lot of guys drafting him to be a wide receiver too. He has not even come anywhere remotely close to giving you that type of production. But over the past couple of weeks, he has been very, very solid. I think Phillip Rivers looks to get him going in this football game as the Colts try to stay afloat during that, that crowded AFC playoff picture there.
Fair enough. And then on the other side, I mean, the only, and I said this, and I know you agree with this, the only other tight end not named Travis Kelce that is not touchdown dependent is Waller the baller. Is he balling out today?
Balling out, I would say probably not. He's not going to give you that, 11 catches for 200 yards or something like that.
13 catches.
Oh, my God.
20 yards.
My bad, Darren Waller. You definitely did live up to the nickname Waller the baller in that football game. So he's been fantastic. And he's honestly been the second best tight end in the league this year, other than Travis Kelce. So you're going to play him no matter what. And he is the star right now for that Las Vegas offense. So I'm not going to say he's going to ball out. The Colts defense is extremely good. They have been susceptible like the past couple of weeks. But, yeah, man, I'm feeling very confident in him. I think he gives, enough production to warrant a start here and a very good one. But to ball out like last week, I don't know.
Oh, man. And then the other main question here is Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing today.
Uh-oh.
I mean, Colts defense is strong.
Strong.
I mean, where would you play him if you are going to play him?
Man, I'm sorry. You would have to play him. You would have to play him just to like he is that big back and he is able to punch it in from one. So you are banking his production on him scoring a touchdown in this football game. Colts defense, very, very strong. Definitely a top 10 defense over the course of the season. And man, if I were to own him, I would probably be playing him, bro.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I'm putting you on the spot again. Same league.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. So my running back situation is Josh Jacobs,
Mhm.
Giovanni Bernard, CEH, Kareem Hunt,
Oh my God.
Ty Johnson, and Duke Johnson.
Wow. Good pickup from Ty Johnson, by the way, who had a fantastic game last week when Frank Gore was out. Dude, man, I mean that's yeah, man. Like you would have, man. That is so tough, bro. I would say you would have to play him, man. Like man, Jamar, and that is really really tough. How do you feel about Kareem Hunt today, though?
I see the thing with that because they got the Monday night game
Yep,
against Baltimore,
tough.
and I'm in my head, my gut saying to stay away from that one because I feel like the other options have higher upside. It's just I honestly I don't know. This is one of those I'm stumped on, and I probably won't know until 5 minutes before kickoff.
And I'm with you, bro. I think you need to take some time pondering that. But the three names that stuck out to me were Hunt, Giovanni Bernard, and the Vegas back there. So like, man, like and then you still got Duke Johnson as well. So like that is sheesh. But if I were you, I would definitely play the Vegas back there. So.
All right. Hey, these are the scenarios that does come about in playoff time. So you gotta make those tough decisions.
Man, good luck to you with that one, bro. that is extremely tough.
Appreciate that. We'll see what happens on that front. Speaking of Ty Johnson, we got the Jets here. So Frank Gore, his situation is all indications that he will play. He just got to clear the final hurdle as far as the concussion protocol here. Mm-hmm. Now, if he doesn't, Ty Johnson, I feel like his stock definitely increases quite a bit to the point where I might snag him in a couple more leagues off the waiver and put him in there. But outside of that, anybody on the Jets that we're looking forward to? I don't think Crowder's playing, but as we know, Seattle's defense is historically bad.
So what is his name? Darnell Mims, I think, or Mims.
Yeah,
wide receiver. So if Crowder isn't playing, Mims is probably the next best fit. And I would say that if he is healthy, which I know that he missed last week, I believe, or something like that, I would say give him a little bit of consideration because after all, that's Seattle secondary is abysmal. And hey, Sam Darnold needs to throw the football to someone there. So I would give Mims a look there.
No, I don't blame you there. Excuse me. All right, and before we get into Seattle side, we got another question here.
Chris James, what's up, my guy? Herbert or Lamar? And all right, so Lamar, who did you say he played against again, Jamar?
Lamar has Cleveland, and Justin Herbert, I believe, has Atlanta.
Oh my God, two shootouts, man. So this is a very good problem to have, bro. Both of those guys are going to have similar production, I feel like. Herbert he was shut down. He was completely shut down. And to be completely honest, he was the reason in which I beat you last week because if you would have played Lamar Jackson, you would have won. Belichick normally fares well against rookie quarterbacks. That's just been a historical fact. So, but Herbert is looking to have a bounce back game, and Atlanta's secondary is no secondary, basically none whatsoever. So Lamar Jackson is going to have to score some points in order to keep up with how Cleveland has been rolling. So, man, both of these guys are a very, very good pick here. I feel like I'm leaning a little bit slightly towards the Justin Herbert side of things because I feel like that he needs a game to get back right from that goose egg of a performance that he put up last week. But great problem to have. Slightly leaning towards Justin Herbert. Jamar?
Yeah. there's no slight lean on this one. I'm taking Herbert. I'm taking Herbert all day, every day. I feel like last week was just more so phenomenal coaching by Bill Belichick. He does that to all rookie quarterbacks that he come across. It is what it is. Outside of that, Herbert, the evidence has shown Herbert has been balling out since he started. So, and then on the flip side, me personally, I feel like, so here's the thing. So Cleveland played Baltimore week 1. Cleveland got smacked 38-6.
Smacked.
And I feel like it's going to come full circle around to where Cleveland is probably going to dominate the Ravens. I really feel that way. So I feel like Herbert has, I know Herbert's floor isn't as high as Lamar Jackson's, but I feel like his ceiling is through the roof just because of how bad Atlanta is. Like, Atlanta still suck. That's just what it is. And there's no sugarcoating it. They suck. So I'm taking Herbert all day, every day in this one.
So, I mean, you got 2 Herberts there, bro. Good luck to you in this postseason. Man, he has a very, very, very good team. I don't want to bump into him inside the playoffs, so I'm still wishing him good luck.
Definitely good luck. I have no bias. Good luck, man. Thank you. All right. So, Seattle. And I do have a injury update here. But we'll get into that after we get through Seattle.
Okay.
All right. So of course, let Russ cook. He definitely should cook. And I feel like personally, the way that they lost last week, I feel like they're gonna take it out on this one. And I feel like DK Metcalf, they're gonna unleash that monster today. Your thoughts?
Man, I couldn't have said it better myself. Oh, poor Jets, man. After the Seattle Seahawks lost away in the fashion that they did last week. DK Metcalf, man, I think at a minimum he's going to have over 150 yards receiving in this football game. Minimum. So I talked with one of my buddies offline, and he asked me how does he feel about Russ and DK, like that 1-2 combo. I said that it's going to be 25 points apiece for both of them. Woo! Come on, man. Like, the Jets defense is that bad. Russell Wilson is coming off of a game in which he wishes he can have right back. So these 2 guys are going to look to get it done. Don't be afraid to play Tyler Lockett as well. So I expect a lot of points from Seattle in this football game. Chris Carson should be able to get it going. I mean, it's all of those guys. You're going to play Carson. You're going to play Russ. You're going to play DK. You're going to play Tyler Lockett. I expect a lot from this football team today.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a bloodbath in my opinion.
Poor Jets, man.
All right. And as far as injuries, so initially I said Brandon Cooks was going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Oh, boy.
He's not playing. This is from Ian Rappaport. It says Houston wide receiver Brandon Cooks dealing with foot and neck issues is not expected to play today, sources said. Bearing a significant late improvement, they'll be down a weapon.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. Looks like it's going to be the Kiki QT show, as well as I think that they just made your decision for playing Duke Johnson a little bit better. I think he's going to get a little bit more targets. So if I were you, Jamar, and I believe we answered a question about Duke Johnson earlier, that should make me feel a little bit better about playing Duke Johnson today.
Yeah, because that means what's his name? Deshaun Watson got to put a little bit more razzle dazzle into his game here. So yeah, maybe my Bears just might win.
Good for your Bears. I was thinking the same thing. Good for your Bears, though.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. 2 more opponents that's I guess kind of near and dear to my heart as well. Green Bay at Detroit. I feel like Green Bay, you're starting the usuals, right? That's without a doubt. All right. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that. Just want to point out Devontae Adams is a monster, but continue. Detroit, Matthew Stafford expected to play. DeAndre Swift expected to play. How do you feel about DeAndre Swift?
I feel pretty good about DeAndre Swift. And remember, I mentioned that the one Achilles heel of this Green Bay defense is their ability to stop the run. So DeAndre Swift should have a very solid game in this one, or all signs should point toward DeAndre Swift having a very good game in this one. So Matthew Stafford, man, I would consider benching Matthew Stafford today. I do not believe he's a top 12 play. Like I don't, not in this football game. So if you have better options, and obviously if you're playing in 2 quarterback leagues like in our main league, Jamar, then yeah, you would definitely have to play Stafford. But in 12 team leagues, I can name about 10 quarterbacks that's going to outproduce Matthew Stafford this week. So TJ Hawkinson would be a pretty good play as well, just because of the overall volume and the injury to Kenny Golladay, like we mentioned earlier. So
yeah, Kenny Golladay, like he just been on the injury list, like basically it feels like the whole year. And that has allowed TJ Hawkinson to, I'm pretty sure he's the 3rd or 4th, probably the 3rd ranked tight end right now. So
definitely top 5 without a question.
He's almost to the point where I'm saying he's not touchdown dependent. I'm not there yet, but he's almost to that point. So yeah, you're definitely playing him. Pass catchers. The other one, would you consider Marvin Jones?
Oh, man,
they released Marvin Hall, so it's like.
I mean, I would say give him a flex consideration, not, but definitely proceed with caution there, because the strength of that Green Bay defense has been, stopping opposing pass catchers there. So they got a pretty good secondary, and they like to utilize that in order to win football games. They definitely know how to turn the ball over, that's for sure. So Jones would only be a flex play for me today.
Okay. All right. Next one here, which I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this game. There's no full playoff implications, but from a fantasy perspective, I feel like this is a juicy matchup.
Yep.
All right, let's get into it. So Atlanta, there's no Julio.
Calvin Ridley show.
I need him in my 16-teamer. I need him.
And I don't even know how to pronounce that other wide receiver's name there. Like I would have to definitely look it up, but he has a little bit of, dude, I'm not even gonna like mention it though. But, he has like a little bit of upside, considering that, like the blow to Julio Jones there. But outside of that, man, is you definitely want to stay away from Matt Ryan. He's been too unpredictable. Yeah. Outside of those guys, I'm not playing anyone else.
Not even Todd Gurley?
No. This is not the time to be experimenting with inconsistent Todd Gurley right now. So
experimenting.
Nah, this isn't the time. Leave them on the bench. Maybe if they were at home, I would be singing a different tune, but they have to travel to LA. So now is not the time.
Oh man. All right. Chargers. So as we mentioned earlier, Justin Herbert, we started him. Started him last week, was just last week. Evidence has shown that he's been a baller this whole year. So you started him. Bill Belichick just know how to, get the job done against rookie quarterbacks, but you started him. And Atlanta defense suck.
Yep.
Austin Eckler. I am starting him. If I have him. The league that I do have him, he's on the bye, so I just hoping they stay healthy. Of course, you're starting Keenan Allen. Mike Williams, Hunter Henry. How do you feel about those guys?
I feel pretty good about Mike Williams as only a flex play. I don't think he's going to give you enough. Wide receiver 3 flex play there for sure. Hunter Henry, again, tight ends are very, very thin. And if you do not have better options in this football game, this would be a week in which you would want to experiment with a Hunter Henry. I mean, again, we already mentioned that Atlanta's defense is like not having like a defense out there at all, pretty much. That's how bad they are. And I would like to still – okay, so the wide receiver for Atlanta that I was trying to mention, I'm going to try and attempt to say his name, Olamide something. I can't even do it. I don't want to butcher this guy's name, but With Julio being out, I think he can give a little bit of like a spark. But the Olamide Z guy, I'm just gonna call him Z.
Z is fine by me. All right. So yeah, this has a shootout written all over it.
Yep.
All right, in a game that's probably not going to be a shootout, but actually a dogfight, but has playoff implications here. We got the football team at the 49ers, which is actually probably in Arizona here. So, wow. So Washington, no Antonio Gibson this week. So how do you feel about J.D. McKissic against that Niners defense?
Bump him up, man. I feel like he can give you very, very strong RB2 production in this football game. Definitely with upside for more. It was unfortunate that Antonio Gibson went down, and you two know that, Jamar. And that was very, very tough for me to watch, as I actually legit had a shot to beat you there until like I found out. I thought that they just wasn't giving him the ball early until I had to check my phone. I'm like, where is this guy? You know what I mean? So he went out due to like turf toe, so he would probably miss like the next couple of weeks. So that's definitely something that Gibson owners such as myself would like to like key in on. But hopefully you had, chances to pick up other backs there.
Yeah, and I think with that injury, did I see Peyton Barber make a sighting?
Yep. Yeah, you really did. So they're definitely going to utilize them as being the lightning and thunder of that backfield. And I feel like both of these guys can be productive today. Even though San Francisco's defense has missing like so many pieces, it's still a solid defense, nonetheless. But if Washington is to try to attempt to stay afloat in this, NFC, playoff picture, they are going to have to run the football.
That's facts. And then key matchup here. Terry McLaurin against Richard Sherman.
Ooh. So Sherman is back, huh?
Yeah, he I think he came back either last week or the week before, but he's been back now.
Okay, so that's gonna be tough. So last week against Pittsburgh, he was shut down. McLaurin was definitely a non-factor in that football game. And I think Alex Smith looks to get that guy going. He is probably the most solid piece right now for Washington football team over the past couple of seasons. So why wouldn't you want to get that guy going early and often? So I think that's what they look to do. I don't think it should be no problem with Scary Terry, lining up against an old veteran in Richard Sherman. So
fair enough. And so my I guess the final question with them is McLaurin going to be McScoring today?
Yep, McLaurin should be McScoring today. So I would have no problem playing him again. Like that's one of those names, and which you saw him. He just had an off week, and it happened to like the best of any players out there. So I think they get him back on track this week. Alex Smith knows he has to be able to get him the football. He is without a doubt the most electric wide receiver on that football team. So
facts. Down the side of the ball. That might be Mostert against that Washington front. That's tough.
Very, very tough again. And Mostert, I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't play him, man. Like I've been saying it all year. Washington's front is just legit, bro. It is. I mean, there's some grown men, basically. So Mostert, that would be tough. He would, but the only positive thing about Mostert is it only takes him one play to score. So maybe he can give you a little bit of flex play, but RB2, which he is known to be, I don't think he'll be able to give you that in this one.
All right. So do you feel confident any of the pass catchers, basically Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk?
I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to say yes to both. See, like the thing about it is Deebo is not only utilized in the passing game, he also runs like the jet sweep a bunch. Yeah. So I think he can score in both fashions, and he gets a lot as in terms of volume. And Brandon Ayuk has just been that home run hitter, man. Like It only takes him a couple of plays to score the football. So I can see both of those guys being productive in this football game.
Yeah, fair enough. And then just to point out, Washington is believe it or not, is a top 10 fantasy defense this year thus far. Crazy as that sounds, right? And then shout out to Brandon. Good morning, brother.
My brother. Good morning.
Morning, man. That's a solid brother right there.
Indeed.
Right. So, in an interesting matchup, well, maybe not so, but I definitely have eyes on this one. New Orleans at Philadelphia.
What a game, Jamar. What a game for young Jalen Hurts to go out there and start his first start against arguably a top 3 defense this year. Man, like what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I've been hearing that like they was kind of comparing that man to a Taysom Hill in a sense, but I feel like Hurts definitely has a higher upside overall once he gets going. And with him in this matchup today, I think he'll be okay. I think so, just because due to the lack of film on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that I mean he's more athletic than Wentz, so I feel like, and he'll have that mindset that probably if his first read isn't there, he's probably gonna take off type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would create a high floor for him if that's the case. And I mean, just based on the small footage that we've seen, I mean, I feel like he's been delivering the ball to 2 guys, so I wouldn't necessarily, rule out the fact that he can be productive today in a sense. Not starting him, but I just feel like everybody around should get a boost here in a sense. Even Miles Sanders, the pass catchers, I think their value goes up a little bit here. But I know against New Orleans, it's only so much you can do.
Right. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
With Hurts being under center now, what does that do for the production of a Dallas Goedert or a Zach Ertz or any of those pass catchers on that football team?
All right. So, historically and traditionally, usually, young quarterbacks usually go to the security blanket, which are tight ends in general. So I would think Goddard's and Ertz production would probably be solid across the board.
Okay.
It's the other pass catchers, on the outside, like Jeffrey. I don't know.
Fulgham.
I don't know. What's his name? Jalen Rager, whatever how to pronounce it. I think is he more so in the slot, right?
Yeah.
And if so, I think he might actually be productive. It's basically the ones that's inside the numbers will probably, be okay options here.
Okay.
So we'll see on that one. And then on the flip side, Taysom Hill, are you starting him?
Yeah, why not, man? He actually showed his ability to throw the football, which we have not seen last week. Philly's secondary is terrible, pretty much. Like, let's just call it what it is. And but they do have a keen ability to be able to get after the quarterback. So Taysom Hill is going to be rattled, but this is a quarterback that can just blow right past you. You know what I mean? So I like him in this football game.
Absolutely. Kamara, I think he had a pulse last week.
Yeah, I would definitely have to check that. I know Michael Thomas did for sure. But I think that they both can be productive in this football game. Not in terms of Kamara being able to run the football, but in terms of him being able to pass catch out the backfield. So,
gotcha. Okay, and then Brandon came back with this comment here, basically saying, it'd be tough for Jalen today. It'd be epic if he does have a phenomenal game, as you stated, Deshaun. Top 3 hungry, ferocious defense.
Yeah, man. Brandon, I'm with you, bro. I've watched this defense over course of like the past 3 weeks. And you know, I've often compared like a bunch of defenses to ours. The Colts, the Steelers, and New Orleans are pretty much like up there alongside like a couple of others. But man, I think the Saints is probably more flexible of any of those defenses, even more so of ours due to like the injuries in which we had. Like the Saints is a very, very scary football team going forward, and I think they got the ability to probably, you know, go to the ship out the NFC. I'm just going to say it.
No, they do. I look at it like this: Jalen Hurts gives the Eagles a better chance to win than Carson Wentz today.
Oh no, I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on that. But
and
wow.
And I'll say this: I'm pretty confident that Jalen Hurts will have a better output today than what Justin Herbert did last week. I'll say that much. But
then okay, yep, I'll give you that. Oh yeah, because I think I think Herbert only had like 3 fantasy points or something like that, maybe 4 tops. So.
Yeah, it was, dude. That was a ish show. That was a poop show, man. That was definitely a poop show. But yeah, I am definitely excited to see this game, though. I can't wait. I can't wait. And honestly, the game I'm really excited to see.
Oh,
I'm really excited to see this one.
Definitely the game of the week here, and it was a game in which, you know, I'm a Steelers fan. Hashtag Steelers Nation. Hashtag Here we go. And this was a game in which I picked us to lose at the beginning of the season as a potential loss, and just because Buffalo is balling. Like, let's just not like take anything away from this Buffalo team. I believe that Josh Allen has inserted himself back into that MVP conversation over the past couple of weeks. Stephon Diggs has been a top 5 to 10 wide receiver this year. He's been very solid. Cole Beasley, my gosh, man, like they got this guy rolling. I think he's gonna probably end up having his first 1,000-yard season of his career, which is
crazy.
Yeah. And he has more 100-yard games than Tyreek Hill this season. Yeah, crazy stat, right? So this team is gonna be on fire. They're at home. My Steelers team has a bunch of losses on the defensive side of the football, and I heard my boy Spillane, who actually replaced injured Devin Bush, will not be playing in this one as well. So, man, that's tough. Like, we're just taking hit after hit. But like both of you guys mentioned yesterday, it's next man up, right?
Yep.
And then Brandon said the same thing. You mentioned the same thing. And it's next man up football. So no excuses.
I mean, and I think
if I take a pick in this game, man, I'm going to say Buffalo wins it tight.
Fair enough. I don't think Joe Hayden's playing either. Oh, man. So, with that being said, with no Joe Hayden, I mean, Stephon Diggs, man, is he having a game here? Or is your secondary?
He will be on fire in this football game, and it scares me to think about the productivity that he could output today. Man, maybe 7 catches, 110 yards, a touchdown, somewhere similar stat lines like that. Maybe a little bit better. I look for Cole Beasley to get going in this football game as well, in between the numbers. The only thing that I'm confident in is our ability to shut down the run game. We should be able to do that, no problem. So guys like Devin Singletary and Zach Moss, I would probably stay away from them today as far as fantasy implications are concerned. But as far as pass catchers, Beasley, very, very good play. And obviously you're going to start an elite option as in Stephon Diggs.
All right. And you mentioned running game, so I'm going to flip over to the Pittsburgh side of the ball. Mm-hmm. James Conner, Benny Snell, that McFarland guy, like what's going on here?
Okay, so what's going on is that I'm praying that they automatically insert James Conner back into that RB1 role there, and those other guys can chime in as change of pace, because over the course of the season, we've been more productive when James Conner has been healthy. Even though it hasn't been that great of production, we've looked much better when we had the ability to run the football. And like I mentioned yesterday on you guys' podcast, is that you have to be multidimensional in order to win football games, right? So you cannot go out there and just expect Ben Roethlisberger to throw the ball 50 times a game and having a shot to win this football game.
All right. So in the event that Ben Roethlisberger does go out there and throw the ball 50 times tonight, all right. So who's going to be the main beneficiaries of these targets, man? Because
man, that's tough to say. It really is tough to say. I think out of all, I think the most solid play today would probably be Deontay Johnson if those guys can freaking catch the football. So that's like that has been very, very tough to watch. I think Juju would probably be second. Chase Claypool. A lot of teams have been keying in on this guy over the past 3 weeks, and it has showed like they are treating him like the number one receiver on that football team. They're watching game film on him, and that's crazy to think because he's a rookie. You know what I mean? But they are keying in on him as the number one receiver. So expect a little bit of a lesser of production from him. But I'm going to say Deontay Johnson, Smith-Schuster, Claypool, and then James Washington in that order.
Gotcha. And crazy thing is, I personally feel like he would have a Justin Jefferson effect if it wasn't for, the depth of wide receivers on your team. I really feel that way.
Absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, that's the Sunday night game. I am definitely looking forward to it. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm watching that game. All right, so this one here, like I mentioned, I personally feel like this is going to come full circle around. The Browns are just playing that good right now. They are. Ravens, we talked about them from a fantasy perspective for quite some time now. Baltimore side, is Lamar Jackson a top 12 player this week?
Yes. I'm going to say yes, man. He got it going last week against who did they play? Dallas? Again, that's not saying much, but seeing him in that fashion, becoming back electric again is a very good sight to see. And both of these teams have playoff implications, right? Baltimore needs to win this football game.
Absolutely.
Cleveland kind of more so needs to win this football game to stay afloat, and trying to actually secure that number 2 seed, possibly number 1. I wouldn't bet on it with Kansas City. I expect Kansas City to win out, to be completely honest. I looked at their roster, at their remaining schedule. I expect Kansas City to win out and become the number 1 seed. My Steelers could actually fall 2 more games, but I think that they would win out after that. So it's going to be either Cleveland or Pittsburgh to snag that number 2 seed. So big playoff implications in this football game. Man, 2 teams from the same conference duking it out. This is what we love to see. So.
Yeah. All right. So, Mark Andrews, how do you feel about him today? Because, believe it or not, I got him in that same league as the other 2 that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay.
How you think he's going to fare today? Is there, matter of fact, more so, outside of Kelsey, Baller, and Hockenson, is there any better play right now than Mark Andrews today?
No, there's not. And you should have your answer with that, considering if you do not have those guys, then you're going to have to play him at that tight end position, which has been extremely thin this year. A lot of guys, like you mentioned, week in and week out, and that's something that I hope everyone pays attention to, is the tight end has been so touchdown dependent this year. Like it really has, and those 3 guys are probably the exception to the rule. And I would even more so put Mark Andrews in with that being touchdown dependent, but he's missed a couple of games due to COVID, and I think they look for him to get back on track in this football game as well. I think he inserts himself as the top pass catcher in that Baltimore offense today.
Yeah, and I just double checked, and I guess Cleveland is 31st against tight ends from a fantasy perspective. So we'll definitely see. On the other side, Baker Mayfield. I feel like ever since Nick Chubb came back, They basically settled him down, and he's been the ultimate game manager and actually balled out last week. Would you start him?
Yeah. I mentioned it earlier, and can you name 10 other quarterbacks that you would play today over Baker Mayfield in the way that he has been playing football over the course of the past 3 weeks?
I see your point. That I think he'd be right at that mark, but I see your point.
Somewhere around like the 9 to 12 range for me as well.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty good starting them in this football game. Look, they're at home. They got something to prove. And you mentioned the game manager title. That's what he is looking to do in this football game. Feed the ball to Chubb, dump it off to Kareem Hunt, throw in whenever you can. Do not turn the football over. That has been the key to Browns football, to be completely honest.
It has. And speaking of running the football here, the best tandem in the league.
Best tandem in the league right now.
Chubb and Hunt. So, I mean, Baltimore run defense is still really good here.
Yep.
I take it you would still start Chubb no matter what.
Absolutely have to.
Kareem Hunt, on the other hand.
Man, he's been, honestly, for a nice chunk of this season, even when Hunt was out early on, even when Hunt was in too, he's been an RB2. But I think over the past 3 or 4 weeks, since Chubb has been back, he's been more so of a very good flex play.
Yeah.
Especially in like PPR format. So today I'm going to give him that same title. I think he's a very good flex play. I've been utilizing him as my RB2 for over the past couple of weeks, and I've been winning football games, but I haven't been happy with his output and production. So flex is the best he's going to be able to give for me against that Baltimore front.
Fair enough. And then Jarvis Landry has been really good as of late.
Smoking hot.
What about Rashard Higgins? Do you like him?
Yeah, I like both of those guys, considering that, Baker in his ability to not turn the football over. Jarvis Landry is that third down guy when you need that crucial catch, or like the goal line guy if you need like a quick slant or something like that. He's going to always be productive in which the offense in which they are running right now. And Higgins can be that guy who you can just throw it up over the top to score. So like he's looking for them. But man, Baker Mayfield has been playing very well. And I think he heard our comment early in the season when we were writing him off and saying that Joe Burrow was the better of the two. So maybe he caught wind of that, and ever since then he's been balling. So kudos to them, as much as it hurts me to root for any of these teams, which I'm
I bet. And we got another question here from Humboldt T. Parker again. Jordan Akins, Logan Thomas, and Dallas Goedert.
4-point PPR. So I'm gonna exit out the first name. I'm gonna key in on Logan Thomas and Dallas Goedert. So again, Jamar, and like you mentioned that Jalen Hurts is under center. I gave you the question in which how you feel about Dallas Goedert. So I'm gonna say Goedert is gonna be a security blanket for Jalen Hurts in this football game. Logan Thomas has been playing very, very well as of late. And we saw last week in which Pittsburgh pretty much shut down McLaurin, and Logan Thomas was very, very solid in that football game. So I'm just going to go a toss-up between Logan Thomas and Dallas Goedert here. I think they're going to give similar production, maybe even a slight nod to Thomas. Very, very slight.
Yeah, so, as you mentioned, Thomas was balling out last week. 9 catches, 98 yards, and a touchdown. The week before, 4 catches, 20 yards, and a touchdown. Ever since Washington has been, getting it together here, like he's definitely been a factor. I do like Thomas the most out the three.
Yep.
Now, that first name, I wouldn't be surprised if he became pretty productive today, especially since no Cooks, no Johnson. They're depleted. I get it. I feel like Alex Smith really likes Thomas here with McLaurin's, covered, and, with what's his name, Richard Sherman out there. So Thomas, I'm confident in Thomas here on this one. So once again, appreciate the question. Hopefully, everything pans out, and good luck in your matchup once again today. But yeah, man, this week 14, man. Any final thoughts about anything dealing with wild card weekend for fantasy football?
No, I just want, to wish everybody out there, hopefully, everyone can win, right? So good luck to everyone that is playing to win the game. And that's the reason why we play, right? Just go out there and play those names that you guys are confident in. And sometimes you just got to go with your gut. And if I had a game this weekend, and I would do exactly the same. So good luck to everybody out there.
All right. Oh, really quick, I wanted to do this since you basically helped with my whole freaking team here.
Okay.
Let's pull this up. You see it?
I do.
All right. So straight smashing. That's me.
Mm-hmm. Hope smash.
All right. So this is.
Wait, what is your record in that league, by the way?
I'm 7-6, man. I've been
7-6. You're not straight smashing then, bro.
Hey. Dude, believe it or not, I was on a 4-game skid at one point.
Wow.
In the beginning of the year, and my plus minus at the time was a minus 18. So I kept losing close games.
Okay.
So I feel like I just want to make sure I'm probably going to insert Duke Johnson there.
Okay.
But other than that, give me your analysis. Do you think I got a chance here? This is it, man. This is it.
So it looks like you got Tom Brady, you got Patrick Mahomes. I think you won that one. Josh Jacobs, you got him in there against Mostert, and we already said that would be a tough game in which Mostert. So I think you should have a slight edge to that one. Gio Bernard and Chris Carson. I'm gonna have to give it to Chris Carson there. I think Chris Carson is probably his RB1. Allen Robinson and DeAndre Hopkins is mentioned as questionable, but it looks like he will play. I think they will give similar production.
Yeah.
Godwin and Robert Wood. Similar production again. Man, this is going to be a tight game. Mark Andrews over Gronk. Definitely the bigger edge goes to Mark Andrews here. Tim Patrick, great one at A.J. Brown. Slight edge to A.J. Brown in this one. Just his ability to score the football. Washington defense and the Saints defense. Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so the Saints, man, they're going up against Philly, and Washington looks like it's going up against San Francisco. So
I think they should be able to have similar production in this one. So I'm just going to say that one is even. Carlson over Bass. Bass is playing against us. Carlson looks like he's playing against the Colts. So it looks like slight edge goes to Carlson. My gosh, dude. Scroll down for me. Let me see your bench. And you got Kareem Hunt on the bench, Antonio Brown. So, dude, you got a very good football team. It's just deciding on who to play or not. This is going to be a tight game. If I could actually be a fly on the wall and actually watch this as the points go up and down. So,
man, and I think I was at the 5th or 6th seed in this league, and I had a chance to get the first round bye, and I actually played him last week, and my team laid an egg. Big time.
So, yeah, man, dude, this one is about as close as it gets. And you can even tell that in the production and what they predict you guys to have. So, I think it's going to be just that close, bro.
Man,
good luck to you.
Appreciate that. So, all right. So, good luck to everyone out there that is playing this week. If you're not, like my buddy here, I guess chill out and just hope your team doesn't get injured in the process.
Yep, simply spectating here.
All right. So with all that being said, check us out. DestinationFantasy.com. Got apparel for your favorite teams, also for favorite players. Hey, we're streaming live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you know when we're on. Even though we're on every Sunday at 7:15 Central Time, but still hit that notification bell. Yeah, it's playoff time.
Yeah, they need a reminder, so why not? Ding that bell.
Please. And we also on Instagram. We have content throughout the week. We give our picks. We're gonna have one today as well. We nailed the Thursday game with the Rams defense there. They put up 20 points, man. So it is what it is on that one. But yeah, as far as the podcast, Spotify, Apple, hey, we might actually be on Amazon here soon with Audible.
That's what's up.
So just letting you know that. But yeah, we on a lot of the major platforms there. Check us out. This podcast will be available within the next 10 minutes. So, stay tuned for that one. So with my brother Deshaun, I'm Jamar. Good luck once again.
Good luck.
And we will see you all next Sunday. Peace out.